And so we're here today with author Tanya L with another fantastic book, The House That Jack Built. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
That's good, that's good. We do have a few questions from your readers regarding The House That Jack Built. So the first question we have here is, how did Jack's father's belief system shape his life?
Well, it totally shaped his life. At least it shaped his thought about how to live his life, because his father had this blueprint, and in this blueprint, he began teaching his son at a very young age that no matter what you got to do, what you got to sacrifice, what you got to give up, if you're successful and you get what you want, that's all that matters. So Jack followed that blueprint, and it took him places.
Okay.
Some places he wanted to go, some places he didn't.
And so, in line with Jack, what made him what made him think that it would be okay to pimp his wife? I mean,
Well, to unpack that one, we have to go back to the blueprint. Because just as his daddy taught him, it doesn't matter what you got to sacrifice, no matter what you got to give up, as long as you are successful and you get what you want, then it's worth it. Now, he did love Paula very much, but he loved success more, because his father's ideas about how a man should be and what a man should have, irregardless of love, home, or faith, because his father was not a man of faith. Jack's mother was a woman of faith, but his dad wasn't. And what Jack saw between the two was his dad got everything that he wanted. And he didn't have to, he paid no attention to faith, family, or anything like that. He worked hard. And so Jack saw that and decided that that's what he wanted to do, because to him it made sense.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. So, a little bit further in the book, you introduce the character Elizabeth. Can you explain to me, how did Elizabeth come up with the idea or even the plot behind taking over companies, killing off families, making people disappear for good? I mean, she was just all over the place with it.
Oh boy.
How did you?
Okay. All right. How we unpacked Elizabeth? Well, to understand Elizabeth, first of all, you have to understand where Elizabeth came from. Elizabeth was raised by an Atlantic City mob boss. He was supposed to have been reformed or retired because he came over from his homeland of Italy, I believe that's where he was from. And his background with his dad, his family, was moving anybody out the way that got in their way of getting what they wanted. So Elizabeth was raised by this man. He was her stepdad. And he taught her everything that she learned, everything that she used, she got it all from him. And we can even tie that back into Jack's father's blueprint, because it was really the same blueprint, only one was a mob boss and one was an airline pilot. But they basically both had the same blueprint in life, and they taught their children the same thing. Doesn't matter what you got to do, doesn't matter who you got to kill, no matter what you got to sacrifice, as long as you win in the end, you get what you want, it's all worth it. So she got her blueprint for life from her daddy, and Jack got his from his.
And of course, that leads us to Miss Paula. Sweet little innocent Paula. I bet she got more than she bargained for. But, my main question with her is, Jason.
Oh,
just,
Jason.
I mean, of course, on paper, he seems like the perfect match.
Well, in my head, he was perfect too. I mean, when I wrote out Jason, I thought, oh yeah, now I like somebody. But, yeah. Well, to understand that, we need to go back to in the beginning of the book where Paula and Jack are sitting on her front porch, and they're making their vows of love and commitment to one another. And when she made that vow on her front porch as a teenager to Jack, because remember they grew up together, she meant what she said. And so it was not in her. She didn't have the same dysfunctions as Jack and Elizabeth. She was raised differently. And so it was not in her to be with someone that she didn't love. Because in her view, which in my opinion was the correct view, it would not have been fair not only to her but to Jason, because he deserved more, he deserved better than to be with someone who didn't want to be with him, whose heart belonged to somebody else. Because eventually, that comes out, and what you did could destroy the good that's in the other person, because that would change them. So she didn't want that. She didn't want to. That was a responsibility that she didn't want, because it wouldn't have been right. So for his sake, she made the right decision. Now some may question whether or not she made the right decision with Jack, but as far as her relationship with Jason, yeah, she made the right decision. And sometimes you can't always do what you want, but you need to do what you know you should do. And that was the right thing, so, yeah. But I must admit, Jason was pretty darn good.
On paper, yes, ma'am.
I think I would have had to think maybe 2 or 3 times about that one, but, yeah.
And thank you for joining us with this interview on The House That Jack Built with author Tanya L. Orr. We ask that you please pick up her books at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Goodreads, Books A Million, Kindle. Thanks again. Have a great day.